So welcome to the JoVon Lachey Show. This is your boy JoVon Lachey. Remember that you can follow me on Twitter, on YouTube, and also on Tumblr at JoVon Lachey, J-O-V as in Victor, O-N-L-A-C-H-E-Y. As promised, I'm here to talk R&B Divas LA. This is episode 3. This one was entitled A Chapel Full of Divas. Now, before I actually get into breaking down what happened in this particular episode, I do want to send a special shout out to Little Mo, also Michel'le, and to Dawn Robinson. Those 3 divas have shown me so much love on Twitter. I really have to say thank you to them for that. Michel'le actually kind of kicked off the love fest for me. I just tweeted her that I was doing this review, and she actually watched the very first one, going all the way back to the introductions one that I did, and she has promised to watch them every single week. So she and I have had interactions on Twitter. Then also to Little Mo, the funny, the talented, the ever interactive Little Mo. She and I have had so much back and forth on Twitter this past couple days that I really have to shout her out there. And then also Dawn Robinson, she has been watching the R&B Divas LA reviews as well. So again, I have to really thank those 3 divas in particular, and hopefully I can get Shantae Moore, Kelly Price, and Claudette Ortiz to start watching as well, and hopefully that more and more people out in internet land, or whatever we call it, the World Wide Web, they'll start watching the JoVon Lachey Show as well. So let's get right into this episode here again. R&B Divas LA episode 3. This one was called A Chapel Full of Divas. So this time, episode kicks off and they're at Claudette's house. Little Mo and also Dawn. They're both there at Claudette's house, and they're talking about the Divalogues and what they plan on doing, or some ideas that they think they can incorporate into the Divalogues. But Claudette, she just starts out by telling them that she has this thing called TMJ, and that's when people grind their teeth at night, and it's usually caused by some type of stress. I think I have TMJ as well, because some mornings I wake up and I can tell that I was biting my tongue that night. So I've actually gone to my dentist to see about it, but the dentist referred me to another specialist, and then I have to go in and see about getting some type of not a retainer, but something to put in your mouth that will prevent you from doing that at nighttime, because that TMJ, you'll wake up with a headache sometime if you do that. They say that it's caused by having a lot on your mind and possibly some stress that's going on in your life. So again, they bring awareness to some things there, something that I could personally relate to there. Dawn, as usual, she's been saying this throughout the whole season, that she's nervous to do these type of solo performances by herself. Going back to the open mic and now the monologue, she's very nervous about doing it. But Little Mo, she says she's actually looking forward to doing this and laying out all of her issues. She says she got a chronological list from all the way back in the day of what she wants to talk about. She wants to just talk about it, put it out there, and actually get over some of the issues that she have here. One of the things that she says she does want to talk about is that people always ask her, why does she have so many tattoos? And she said that the tattoos that she have, they all represent something, and they usually represent some type of painful period in her life. And instead of her cutting herself or turning to drugs or alcohol, that she gets tattoos, and that's her way of dealing with a lot of the pain issues that she has. I think that's a good point that she brings up, because nowadays in this new generation, you see so many people, you see guys as well as a lot of young women who have a lot of tattoos. You know, I personally am not a big fan on tattoos. I do have one that I got when I was 21. I wish I would not have gotten it, because when I go to work sometimes I feel a little uncomfortable, especially in the summertime when we wear short sleeve shirts and you know, the tattoo is kind of visible. Well, anyway, I think Little Mo bringing up the issue of tattoos and equating that to some painful issues in her life, I think that's a relevant point for people here in this current age. A lot of people do have tattoos, and they echo that same sentiment that they got them because of something that happened in their life. Some people get them for paying purposes, some people get them for celebrations, for commemorations, so forth and so on. But I find that interesting that a lot of people have tattoos and they have them in the strangest places. They have them on their necks, on their arms, on their legs, all over the place. But to each his own, and I know I just want people to keep in mind that some of these tattoos you can't get. I'm sorry. I mean, especially like on your neck and on your face. You get those, you kind of screwing yourself over for jobs in real life. Little Mo, she's an entertainer. I mean, she sold a lot of records. She's on television, so she can have those tattoos, and that's part of her brand, part of her marketing. But not everyone is going to have the opportunity that Little Mo has to go out and be a singer on a huge stage the way that she is. So that is something for young people in particular to keep in mind, especially when you're thinking about down the line in the future. The ladies, Claudette, Little Mo, and Dawn, they feel like that people are going to judge them on their life experiences by getting up there and talking about what has happened in their life. But they feel like that they have to go on and do this so they can set themselves free. And they can also help set some other people free. So then it cuts to Kelly Price and Michel'le. They're meeting, and Kelly is telling Michel'le about this Las Vegas trip that she has in mind, and that she wants to invite her as well as all the other R&B divas to this Las Vegas trip. Kelly talks about this organization that she works with in Las Vegas called Broadway in the Hood. It's a theater arts program in Las Vegas, particularly for people who live in the city of Las Vegas, so for inner city Las Vegas. The group is going to be putting on a rendition of Dreamgirls, and Kelly wants the ladies to go there and share some of their experiences and give some advice to these young people in the Broadway and the Hood program. Kelly's been on Twitter this past week. She's really been blowing up Broadway in the Hood, and I've seen her talk about Broadway in the Hood on Twitter in the past before R&B Divas LA, and I really think that's something commendable that people in that type of position can do. As we all know, a lot of theater arts programs, a lot of music programs, a lot of creative type of programs have been cut from school, so they no longer teach those type of subjects in school. Those subjects actually have been proven to help students better their math skills, and also been proven to keep those students in school and to actually get them to graduate. So with all these budget cuts going on in all these local school districts, those programs have been cut. So a special shout out to Kelly Price for actually taking her time, using her star power, and using her creative abilities to actually give back in the capacity that she can give back in regards to the arts, and giving that to people. The arts have saved a lot of people's lives. I mean, the arts have been there for people, and if it wasn't for the arts, a lot of students would have left school, and they really would have had no reason to go there. So Broadway in the Hood is a program that's out there bringing the arts back to the people directly where they are. So Kelly wants the ladies to actually go and see this group and see them perform their rendition of Dreamgirls, and actually try to get some ideas for the monologues that they're soon going to encounter on. So then it comes back, and they're talking about their times in Las Vegas, and Little Mo says that she's been to Vegas before, that Planet Hollywood, the hotel that they're staying at, she says this is where she conceived her son, but she said she's not going to get pregnant on this trip. So Little Mo actually wants to go out and gamble and eat, but she's trying to really keep her focus on this diva logs that they have coming up. So then it cuts to them outside in front of Planet Hollywood. They're out there at that pool. I actually was in Planet Hollywood back in February, that exact same location where they are. But Shantae, she comes out, and then she starts doing this little twirl around, and she takes off the clothes, and they wonder why she's twirling. So she was essentially doing a Wonder Woman twirl. So doing the twirl, she strips off her bathrobe, and she has on a Wonder Woman bikini. Again, I've said this on a few of these things. Shantae looks great, excellent, superb for 46 years old. I don't know many 46-year-old women who still have that body that she has, let alone a 46-year-old woman who has children. She looks good. So shouts out to Shantae Moore for that. But then Little Mo, her funny self, she comes out, she says that Shantae was giving Vegas, Wonder Woman, Fish. So I'm like, Vegas, Wonder Woman, Fish. I can't with Little Mo. She's just too much. That's why I think she's going to be the breakout star from this show here. She always had these one-liners. She always had these sayings that she comes up with off the top of her head. So while they're sitting there, Kelly is telling the ladies that she wants them to write down on the part of their life that they feel they most want to share with audiences through the monologues that they're going to do. So this is the central theme of the show, so expect for them to keep talking about this and keep talking about this until the actual show is produced. So while talking about this, Shantae, she interrupts and she says that she's writing a book about her life, and it's called Will I Marry Me? And she says this book is about her life, her experiences, her relationships, and all the things that she have gone through. And she keeps talking about her marriage to Kenny, and she keeps talking about how it was difficult. I don't know if she's quite over this situation with Kenny Lattimore yet or not, because she keeps referring back to it. She keeps talking about it. I don't know if R&B Divas LA is the stage for her to actually exercise all of these Kenny Lattimore demons that she may have. But I personally want to see her and hear her talk about in fullness and on a real level about what have happened between her and Kenny. I think that she's holding back. I don't know if she's holding back for legal reasons because she can't talk about it. It may be part of their divorce agreement, or if she's holding back because she's actually not ready to talk about it. But I look forward to the day, hopefully in the near future, where Shantae can give us the real on what happened between her and Kenny Lattimore, because their relationship with her and Kenny Lattimore lasted for quite some time. And I remember when they got married and people were just so happy and like, oh, Shantae Moore and Kenny Lattimore, they getting together. But then also some people were a little like, Shantae Moore, Kenny Lattimore, like what's real? A lot of people thought some other things about Kenny, so I'm not sure, but I wonder if some of those issues or some of those rumors or some of those things that people have been talking about are some of the issues that Shantae is dealing with. I definitely want to hear what the real deal was. So after they talk about this, it cuts to them actually going to the rehearsal for these students at Broadway in the Hood, and they actually get an opportunity to sit down with these kids and talk to them about their career experiences. So the producer there, I believe his name is Tori, he's the mentor for the group, the guy who started this group, and he invites Kelly in to come and talk every year. So he asked the ladies to give the kids there a piece of advice about their time in the industry and what it's like to be in the industry. Little Mo, she goes on and she tells the kids, you know, you need to keep God first in everything that you do. And she says that, you know, it sounds a little cliche, but it really is true. And, you know, we've heard this time and time again, not just from Little Mo, but from other artists as well, that the entertainment industry is not what it's all cracked up to be, and that you really have to be a strong individual to get into this industry and actually be successful and stay in it, because there's always people hovering and circling around you who either want something from you or they're looking to actually bring you down. Then Kelly, she goes on and she gives some really good sage advice to these students. And I had this conversation with some of my friends all the time when we talk about, oh, what happened to such and such, and I wonder what they're doing. And she tells the kids that if they get into the industry, to keep at least one person around them that can be real with them, that can check them, that can really tell them about themselves. I think that is some of the best advice that I've ever heard an entertainer give to any other person on television ever. Because, you know, oftentimes these celebrities, they get so big, or they may get some level of success, and you can no longer say anything to them, you can no longer tell them anything. But in order for them to stay real and to stay grounded, they do need someone around them that can actually tell them about themselves and tell them when they're going to the left a little too far, or they went a little too far to the right, and bring them back to the center there. So again, shouts out to Kelly Price for that good advice. And then she also tells them, this is old saying in Broadway, to go out and break a leg, but she tells them to go out and says, go out in Jesus' name and wreck the stage. So some more good advice to the Broadway and the Hood students. So then it goes over to Shantae and Dawn. They meet up, and Dawn's dating life comes back up again. So Shantae is trying to find out where Dawn's dating life is. So Dawn tells her that yes, she has been dating for some time, and it's been to one individual. So she's dating a man from Wales. For those of you who do not know, Wales is like a state or an island, better yet, in Great Britain or the United Kingdom. So it's over in England. So this man is from England that she's dating. I do remember seeing some previews, and he is going to make an appearance later on in the show. So she's been dating this man for quite some time, and she actually wants to have a child, but she said that she's having some female issues. She's having some hard time actually conceiving a child at her age right now. So then she goes on and she tells Shantae about the abusive relationship that she was in. She shared this information with with Michel'le last week, and that was heartbreaking to find out that she was dealing with this man who was physically abusive to her, and that he went out and he had 3 children while they were married. So she's telling Dawn particularly about that scenario of him having kids outside their marriage, and she said that really hurt her because he was going out having kids and bringing these kids back home to their marriage when she wasn't able to actually give him a child, and she wasn't actually able to have a child of her own. Later on in the episode, they talk a little bit more about that, and we'll get to that at that point. So it comes back, and Michel'le says that she feels like her marriage was fake, because they're talking about marriages. Her and I believe her and Shantae at this point are talking about marriages. Her, Shantae, and Lil Mo talking about marriages walking down the strip in Las Vegas. So she says that her marriage was fake. So everybody's getting the confused look like, what? Fake marriage? Like, you were there when you got married, right? You had a ceremony, you had a license, but Michel'le is saying that her marriage was not real, that when the FBI and the IRS came in on her and Suge's marriage, that they deemed that it wasn't a real legitimate marriage. Michel'le, we're going to need some clarification on that marriage, on why it was fake and why the FBI or the IRS said that it wasn't real. Been a little vague about that, so hopefully by the end of the season we know why they said it was fake. Or, get out here on the talk show circuit, do your thing, and talk about it there. Okay, so after that, they cut to them actually going to the day of the performance at Broadway in the Hood with these students performing Dreamgirls. And so the buzz when they arrive on the carpet is that Kelly is not there. All the other 5 ladies are there, but Kelly Price is not there. Mind you, this is Kelly Price's, not her event, but this is her charity per se. This is her benefactors, I'll say that. She's giving herself and her time to this group, but she's not there. So the other 5 ladies, they show up and they're on this carpet, and everybody's wondering where Kelly is, and they're giving excuses for Kelly. So Dawn, she says that Kelly actually had a prior engagement and that she needed to be there, and that's why she wasn't going to be able to attend their performance of Dreamgirls tonight. So the ladies, they really enjoyed the play from the kids. They didn't show too much of it. They showed some little sound of one of the girls who was playing Effie. She was singing the chorus, and I'm telling you, she sounded good, but I would like to see a little more of that to give a full critique on those students' performances. So the producer of this play, Tori, he comes up to the ladies while they're sitting in the audience on this intermission, and he asks them, could they do him a big favor? And he says, could you ladies come up and could you say something, or could you possibly sing at the end of the performance here? So he essentially asking them for an impromptu performance. So they all feel uncomfortable about this at this point, and they're like, I don't know, should I do it, should I not do it? I do think that was a little unprofessional, because you just don't go up to platinum selling recording artists, people who have been nominated for Grammy Awards, and just ask them to come up on a stage at a local production on such short notice to perform after the end of your production there. So I do think that was a little uncalled for But on the other hand, I always say that someone who is a singer, someone who can chirp, that has that natural, raw talent, they're just going to get up and they're going to sing at the drop of a hat. You just pass them the mic and it's just going to come out and they're going to give you what you're looking for on site. So, then it comes back and the ladies are in the hallway outside. They're talking about, okay, what do we want to sing? What do we want to do? So Dawn is the first one to say, look, y'all, I can't do this. I'm unprepared. This is so last minute. I was not expecting to perform here. So she walks out. So then Shantae and Claudette, they walk out behind her as well. So this leaves little Mo sitting in this little hallway by herself. So her husband is there with her. Her husband encourages her to go on and actually perform, give them a little something, go up and talk, do something with the people. So little Mo, she decides to sing a gospel song, which is always that default mechanism for those of us who were brought up in the church. For like little Mo, like you can always call up that raw talent that you have and all that skill that you got performing in church. So that's what she did. So at the end of the show, little Mo goes back and she sits down and Tori asks her to come up to the stage. So little Mo's husband, he's sitting down at the piano and he starts playing. So little Mo, she goes into altar call mode. I mean, y'all remember back in the day when, you know, the church would just get quiet and everybody would just get this little hush tone. Everybody's all meditating and praying, they holding hands and everything, and then somebody just gets up and starts singing. So little Mo sings one of those altar call classics, Thank You, Lord. I would sing a little bit for y'all, but I ain't ready for that right now. But she goes into that and she starts singing that, so she's giving a straight altar call moment, tearing this little auditorium up. So they go up, they sing hallelujah, amen, falling out, people getting quickened and all of that. So she did what she knew how to do. So shouts out to little Mo for coming through for them. And Shantae, she could not resist getting a little piece of that action. She had to get a little run, a little riff in on there. So she joined in a little bit. But shouts out to little Mo for doing that. And shouts out to her husband for being prepared to go out and just get on the piano like that. So they really know what they're doing. So Dawn and little Mo, they're back at the hotel. This is the next morning after everything has happened. And they're talking about, you know, why Kelly wasn't there and how they felt a little awkward that she wasn't there. And this was an event that she invited them to. And so they're still talking about that. And, you know, they're sitting there in their little 90s or whatever. They just woke up. I mean, by the way, take a look at little Mo. She kind of thick. I said this in the last episode too. Like, I did not know that little Mo had a shape like that. So no disrespect, but much love to that. She definitely is a rather shapely woman there. So then after that, Kelly Price comes in the room and all the other ladies come in the room and they're still talking about why Kelly wasn't there. Now everybody was kind of tiptoeing around the issue. Nobody come out and say, Kelly, why wasn't you there? You should have been there. We were disappointed that you wasn't there. You could have gave us a call, something that told us that you were not going to be there, so these people wouldn't be looking at us expecting something that we wasn't ready to give to them. So everybody was tiptoeing around that. So this is that first little piece of drama that's going to start happening on the show. I think the drama level is going to pick up starting next week when they actually get into the planning stages of this monologues thing here. And Kelly just sat there like, yeah, oh, I should have told y'all they was going to ask me to sing. They always asked me to sing. I mean, these ladies didn't expect to sing when they came. They just expected to be supportive of this effort here. But again, everybody was tiptoeing around it. So we're going to see what's going to happen on here. It's going to be a blow up between Kelly and somebody. Somebody going to get tired and somebody going to say something to Kelly about something. I don't know what, but about something. So Kelly said that she was actually at her open mic and that's why she couldn't be there. I understand that. She had a prior commitment. She probably has this place contracted out. She has some money tied up into it. And these people are expecting for her to be there. She has this event every Thursday. So I understand why she was not there. And what I don't understand is why she couldn't tell them. Now maybe she did tell them and they just didn't show that part in the editing of this tonight's episode. But again, she could have been there or could have gave some forewarning of why she wasn't there. So everybody, like I said, they're walking on eggshells with this and not really trying to say anything to Kelly about it. So back to Shantae's book. Shantae asked the ladies to write down a couple different things about themselves. So she first asked the ladies to write down their best quality and also what they will look for in a man. So she asked them to refer back to their list and say, now these qualities that you wrote down and what you're looking for in a man, but you writing this down, would you marry yourself? I mean, that's a valid question. You have to sit back and you have to edit yourself sometime when you want to put out these lists and what I do want and what I don't want. When you write that down, you do really have to look back and say, am I bringing these type of qualities to the table as well? So I think that was a really good exercise for the ladies to dig within themselves and also give them a little jump start to thinking about what they can do for the upcoming monologues. So after they go through this exercise, Shantae tells them, look y'all, we're going to go in here, we're going to put our makeup on, we're going to get dressed up, and we're going to go down to the wedding chapel, and we're going to get married to ourselves. So they all get dressed, they go, and once they get to the actual ceremony of them marrying themselves, they all make a promise to themselves. Shantae, she promised that she would never compromise again. And she kept again referring back to this marriage. I'm not going to let this go. I'm going to keep talking about this because I want to know what happened with Kenny Lattimore. I really do want to know what happened. So she said that she's never going to compromise again. She's never going to put herself in a situation where she's feeling less than. So she started to peel that onion back a little bit as to what could have possibly happened. I want to know what happened for real. But a little Mo, she says she goes on and she promises that she's going to forgive herself for some things that she's done in the past and that she's going to rebirth herself. A lot of times we do need to forgive ourselves. Not a lot of times, but all the time we do need to forgive ourselves. We forgive others, we forgive situations, we forgive things that may have happened to us, but sometimes we don't forgive ourselves for some of those things that we've done in the past. I mean, whether they've been some things because of religious beliefs or moral beliefs, we just find it hard to forgive ourselves sometimes. And once you forgive yourself, somebody can't really hold something over your head anymore. So if you still have something going on inside of you and you feel that's holding you down, you definitely need to release that and get rid of it. That way you can move on with your life and you can forgive yourself and others can't hold that over you anymore. So then it gets really, really emotional again when it's Dawn's time to get up at the altar, and she says that she promises to be easier on herself and that she would be grateful if she could conceive a child. So Dawn has been really, really hard on herself about the fact she's been having a hard time conceiving a child with her previous marriage and with him having kids on her time. And with this new guy that she's been dating with for some time, you can really tell that she really has been struggling with this issue. This issue is not that uncommon anymore for women, especially for women who have waited later in life to have children, and even some women that are in their late 20s, early 30s. It's kind of hard for just some women to conceive children, and I don't think that women should use that as a rod to beat themselves with, because it does not make you less of a woman that you can't have kids or that you're having a hard time having kids. I believe that opens you up and allows you to be able to give more actually. You can actually go and give more to the world. You can give more to your community. You can just give more yourself that way. So this is going to be a storyline that's going to play out for the rest of the season about Dawn and her trying to conceive a child and the issues with her conceiving a child. So Michel'le, she gets up, she kind of chickened out a little bit to me. She just says that she wants to be a better her and that, you know, who she is now, if she was to marry this person, that's who you would get and you have to accept that. Which does have some truth to it, but I do want her to dig a little bit deeper and hopefully she'll have a breakthrough when they start this monologue thing as well. So Claudette, she says that she promises to value her worth. That was powerful to me because I think a lot of times we don't even realize our own worth and what your worth means to not only yourself but to everybody around you. When you understand who you are and what your value is, that's a powerful thing, and no one can take that from you, and people can't treat you any old kind of way, and you just want to allow situations and obstacles to overtake you. So she promises to value her own worth. So Kelly, she says she promises to make herself happy and to get over her fear of being homeless. She shared with us that she was homeless at the age of 4 for the very first time, that she and her family lived in her mother's car until her mother's car was taken from them. So that put something in her to work hard and to make sure that she will never be homeless again, and she wants to value her career and be able to enjoy the 20 plus years that she's put in, but she's been working so hard so that she's never ever homeless again. A lot of time things do happen to us when we're children, and they spur something in us to not do or make the same mistakes that our parents may have made, or to actually pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and actually go higher than what our parents or what our environment would usually allow us to do. So again, this episode was an excellent episode. It opened up a lot of issues. It touched on a lot of points for people to actually start conversations on. Again, they touched on domestic abuse. They touched on infertility issues. They touched on self-worth issues. So this reality show to me is doing what reality shows should do. Give us a real perspective of people and give us some things that we can talk about, and hopefully those conversations will help us get through some things that we're going through. But I am waiting for a little more of the drama to kick in, because that's what's going to keep us drawn into the show. So again, thank you all for watching. I hope you all do like the video, that you click that little like button down there. I'm definitely trying to get my likes up. Remember, you can follow me right here on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter. You can also follow me on Tumblr at JoVon Lachey, J-O-V as in Victor, O-N-L-A-C-H-E-Y. So until next time, thank you.